What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Anime Sunday here on First Cut. We are not talking about Attack on Titan. We are talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. I am very excited because I've been wanting to talk about this anime for quite a while. Ben, I've been mentioning it to you. Joining us here, we have Ben Goddard. What's up, man?
How you doing, man? It's been too long.
Good. I'm excited, man, just because
I'm excited too.
I was like, before we do anything else, like there's so many animes I want to talk about. Obviously, My Hero is going on now. I just saw the episode yesterday, I believe, is when it came out. And I'm excited to talk about that too. But I was like, we got to get Jujutsu Kaisen out of the way.
Because we have
finished not too long ago. I want to say like a month ago,
Maybe,
4 weeks ago?
Yeah, about a month ago, probably.
Yeah, but 4 weeks ago, which means I still have that little window of like it's not so late that we can talk about it.
Yes.
But overall, man, what you think of this incredible first season of this new anime?
I don't know. Like I'm not a big anime guy. Like I'm very shallow in my anime knowledge, but I don't know like if I've ever seen a better, even like maybe not just anime, but just like this is like one of the top 5 seasons of television I've ever seen. And I know we said that about, Attack on Titan season 4. And I'm like, I got to use this word sparingly. But I remember just, this randomly being before like it went huge. I think there was like 3 or 4 episodes. And I'm sure it was a big manga. So I'm not trying to say I was in on the ground floor or anything. But I remember it just being recommended to me on Crunchyroll. And I was like, oh, I'll check this out. And just being blown away by that first episode. And before I knew it, I was waiting for those Fridays. Like I was with the Jujutsu Kaisen Fridays and I was like, man, like I've got this on Friday. I've got, WandaVision on Thursday, Thursday night / Friday and, Attack on Titan on Sunday. Like for a while, it was like just heaven for a weekend of television. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely pretty late to starting this one. I can't lie there because I was dealing with other stuff as far as like on my watch list and as far as like other stuff in general. So I think I jumped in, I want to say like right when they started the sister school exchange event. I think that was my first episode. I think it might have been the second episode of that. I think that's when I was like caught up with it when it came to me watching it. But man, as soon as I started it, I binged it. I got caught up. I went through the Nanami storyline and I got caught up to the Kyoto sister school event storyline.
Yeah.
But I was in because it is definitely anime, which is, I guess it's what I'm trying to say. Like it fits into the genre really well, where it cuts to like, Gojo and sparkling colors and flying everywhere. And it cuts to, Itadori doing like dumb stuff in a different style of animation. So it's definitely not Attack on Titan, right? Because you don't see Eren coming up in a bubble and doing little magical things. Like Attack on Titan's very much grounded in its world. Yeah. Versus this one leaves the world. It takes you somewhere else and it makes a joke about it. It pokes fun of itself so much, and I love it because obviously the after credits thing that comes out every episode is so goofy.
It's so goofy and just like, and all of, like the, kind of the almost the fourth wall breaking, like the different styles of animation, when Gojo's like explaining curse energy and he like becomes like this wavy 2D cartoon. He's like, I just wanted to spirit bomb and hame name na. Like, and it's just like it's so unexpectedly funny in so many moments because Itadori's just like, he's just a big dork. Like he's he's got like this superhuman athletic ability and stuff like that, and beats his gym teacher and sets Japanese world records and stuff. But he's just like such a big dork. He's a big goofball, and he's so lovable. And that's the thing is like there's such like real consequences about what goes on in Attack on Titan. Where like yes, if like this thing happens, this is what's going to happen. Where like, yeah, these are real teenagers, but you have Todo throwing Fugashiro, if I'm mispronouncing, I apologize, through a full building and him being like, oh man, and that sucked. I'm like, wait, what? Isn't he like a normal person? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it definitely has that combination of like humor, real world stakes, but at the same time, like a lot of horror. There's no denying this. It has a lot of horror aspects when it comes to obviously curses, which is something that is coming at you like a demon, creepy creature. So it has horror aspects. Obviously, episode 1 and 2, you see that. And it definitely has some creepy. I think the Nanami story arc, I'm going to forget that kid's name, but the kid that Yuji becomes friends with.
Yeah, what I was thinking about his name too.
That is dark, though. That
dude,
storyline is dark,
especially when he's in the opening credits.
Yeah,
like with like, you know, he's got the uniform on and like he's like smiling and everything, and so, you know, when he gets introduced, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a new student, and I'm just like, because you know, like anime credits are kind of like a little bit spoilers, you know, they got some moments but nothing like crazy, but it's just like, man, I was not ready for that when it happened. I was like, no, like he's gonna get up and get, you know, retransfigured or like,
and die.
Oh my gosh.
Spoilers. That entire arc was so dark.
Yeah, full spoilers for the whole season, guys. We're gonna be
season 1, yes.
Season 1, yes. We're manga readers. I mean, we're not manga readers. We're only anime watchers.
Yes.
Just the layman. So please don't no manga spoilers.
Yeah, and I do that on purpose, guys. I used to read manga for other stuff, but then I was like, I'm just gonna watch the anime. But yeah, that story arc with the bullies and, you know, blowing up the bullies' brains the way he did at that theater, like that entire, the way they explain like the body horror aspect, turning into a curse and being stuck in that form, that whole thing was definitely, as one of our commenters said, Liz Gaska says that was heartbreaking. Yeah, it was completely heartbreaking.
It was tough. Man, like especially like when, and you're right, like with how the curses can only like say like 1 or 2 words, like where's the laundry, or like that's so creepy. And then like when he's talking to him as like he's dying, it's like, oh my gosh, like that was just such a tough scene.
The entire anime, I guess my point is, it's able to do that. It's able to do like the most pitch black, horrific stuff, and able to make some crazy funny moments that actually has me laughing and enjoying it quite a bit. Also, shout out to Sabrina in the chat. I don't know how much longer she's going to stay in here. So I have to give her a shout out now before she decides to peace out and say, you know what? I can't keep up. I can't do this. But either way, let's get started in our list, man. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I gave you a couple clips. We can pull them up as you want. 30 seconds each, doesn't have to be too much longer. We might have some overlapping ones, but I'm not sure because I didn't get much of a reaction of you when I sent you mine. So who knows?
I mean, there were definitely some, but I purposely chose different ones so we could have 10 different moments. Like I agree with some of the ones you sent, but I do have some really good ones as well.
Yeah, mine are definitely. I picked the obvious ones. I just didn't.
I mean, but that doesn't make them bad. Like that's the thing. Is that like I saw them, I was like, yeah, these all make sense. These definitely all make sense for sure.
I had to do it. So I'm going to start off the list. Why not? Because I think I'm starting off the list kind of with a controversial one, as far as the ranking goes, at least, because I think this was a lot of people's favorite moment. But it made my top 5, but it's not my favorite. So sorry, guys, if this was your favorite moment. But it's the finale of Yuji and Nobara versus the Blood Brothers Curse. Blood Brothers Curse, I believe is what they're called. But this is when Yuji and Nobara, basically, I think this is more than Yuji because we've seen Yuji do a lot of cool stuff. You didn't send me that one. Oh, did I not?
No.
This is Yuji doing a lot of cool stuff, but we've never seen Yuji I sent you 2 of the other same one. Oops, I had it pulled up and I didn't send it to you. We've seen Yuji do a lot of cool stuff, man, but I feel like in this scene Nobara really shines more than ever before, right? Because I feel like she had a little bit to do, but this is the one that really gave her shining moment, especially when she says hairpin and she snaps and the creature behind her, the curse behind her explodes. I thought that moment was amazing. Let me bring it up as you give me your thoughts on it.
I think I have it right here, actually. Hold on real quick. I think I've got it. I do. What part were you talking about? Because like this fight's like pretty long.
Yeah, so the ending is kind of what everyone refers to as their favorite part when they both take them down at the same time. The music is in cue. The drum is beating up. I forget the name of the song, but I used to know the name of that song. But yeah, that scene right there, I see what you're pulling up. That entire moment, man, is kind of epic, and it's really one of my favorite.
Yeah.
moments in general as far as this entire season. I thought it gave both of them a chance to shine, and it really gave you the opportunity to see what Yuji is all about, right? Because we kind of see him as like this dumb, buff, strong dude, but in this moment, he actually feels quite a bit of emotion throughout this entire fight. And I actually thought that helped his character a lot, even though it came in the finale.
It does, and this is one of my moments too, because like you said the wrong one, so like I picked this one, and it's fine. It's not a big deal. But
this is my number 5. But yeah,
see this with
the music,
the guitar riffs, man. And then like definitely when she does,
it's epic, dude. Oh, that's the best part.
Yeah,
so cool. And the animation, the way it makes her detailed face seem creepy.
Yes.
Look at that.
She's so ruthless in this moment, and it's so good. And like, because Nobara, like, she hasn't had her moment to shine. Like, I mean, she kicked ass in the Kyoto, the school battle.
Yeah, that was a quick battle though. It was like a 30-second. She took down the Little Witch Academia girl. I forget her name, but that was like, all right, she's cool. But this one was like, y'all, she's a baller. She's straight up a baller.
She's straight up a baller because like, and especially I've got like a different part of that coming up later. But just like, because I remember even watching, there's a anime channel that I had to unfollow because they keep going with like he's a manga reader, so they kept going after the show ended. So I was like, okay, I don't want to. Even the thumbnails are starting to spoil a little bit. But he was like, I'm not a big fan of her. She hasn't shown me much, and it was before the finale came out, so I'll give him like some leeway. But even before then, like just even everything she was saying to, the little witch sorceress, where it was just like, I don't care about, like being pretty or anything. I know how good of a sorcerer I am. And like, I'll get the recognition I deserve. And I like who I am. And I was like, man, that's great. I love that. But yeah, I'm so glad in this moment, especially like the watching that with those guitar riffs, man, the dun, dun, dun. Like it was just so good. Like that was just like top 5 anime moments for me. It was such a good. And then, like, especially because going back to what Toto was saying about black flashes, of like that, it's like almost like opening up your pores type thing, where it's just like once someone does it, they automatically ascend to like this greater level of being a sorcerer. And like the difference between Jujutsu sorcerers and the ones that haven't done a black flash is like it's insurmountable. So just seeing her do that is just like, oh, she's like legit if she's like doing that stuff, and it's absolutely true.
Yeah, I absolutely love that moment. I think it's her moment to shine. And I think what I said before about Yuji, how it makes Yuji seem different than everyone else, especially Nobara, because in that moment, like you said, she's a savage, and he's very much like in tears, like legit almost in tears at the thought of killing a potentially half human, half cursed kind of object or person. Even though it is partly cursed, he was like feeling bad about it. And I was like, low key, that makes him a more compelling character than someone like a Gojo or a Toto or someone who's just a complete savage. Like
when he says sorry, like right before he delivers like the final blow, because like he knows what has to be done, but like he doesn't take any pleasure in it. And I love their conversation afterwards where she's like, this is our job, and I just like I've kind of hardened my heart to it. He's like, I'm not there yet, but maybe I will be. And it reminds me a lot of Demon Slayer of Tanjiro, where he's just like, I'll kill any demon that threatens a human, but they're not like these evil, like there are evil demons that I need to kill, but they are like tragic creatures. They are like humans that have been turned into these tragic creatures that are like forced to like, feed on flesh and stuff like that. And I relate those two really relate to me a lot. I like that.
Absolutely, man. What's your number 5, Ben?
My number 5 is our introduction to Gojo. And I'm sure Gojo is going to be all over this list because he's one of the most badass, coolest looking characters we've ever seen. I literally did my hair when it was silver and purple. I did it because of Gojo.
I know you did.
It's so true.
Yep.
But for me, it was his introduction, because his introduction was just so effortless. Like everything he does is just so effortless, but just like when you only hear him on the phone, like, oh, well, you got to go find that cursed object. And then when he shows up and, he's taking pictures of Fugishiro
Yeah.
And then you just seen Sukuno just tear apart that curse that Fushiguro couldn't even handle. And it's like, oh, this guy's like powerful. Like he's the cursed object. It's like this embodiment of him. And then what Gojo does to him and the music that plays following is just so incredibly badass. And it's so effortless. And then especially when he says, my student's here, so I'm going to show off a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's so like when he's like, can you control it? Give me 10 seconds. Because you know he's heard of like the legend of Sukuno and how powerful this sorcerer is, like the worst curse of all time. And it's like the LeBron James, Michael Jordan argument. Like, Michael Jordan wishes he was in the NBA playing LeBron James right now to settle the debate, for all time. Like, Michael Jordan wishes he was at his prime against Kobe. Like, and that's who Gojo is. Like, he wants to fight the strongest. He wants to be the strongest. And he's like, I wish Sukuno was around, man. I wish. So, of course, he's like, you know what? Let me get a taste. Come here. And so that's my number 5 moment if you want to bring it up. Yeah. Like, I could watch. But it's just like, and to have that in the second episode to where, like, you get the tease, you get kind of to know the curses and like how creepy they are and stuff like that. And you get a few good Itadori moments and you get, his grandfather passing away, and that's beautiful. And then that's how the second episode opens, is that moment. And you're like, holy shit, this show, like I was not ready for it. So yeah. That was my number 5 moment, and I'm sure Gojo's going to appear a lot on this list. He is the Captain Levi of Jujutsu Kaisen.
He literally is. I guess the principal would be Erwin, right? I guess that's the only way to decide it. Yeah, I love that one. That's a great one.
It's he's just such a cool character, and that's such a great way to introduce him, like, of being like so carefree and just like, he's just having fun in this moment. It's so good. I love it. I love it.
Speaking of having fun and speaking of power, you talked about Sukuna. My number 4 is Sukuna's first time showing off his powers, and this is when he fights the first special grade.
Yes.
This battle inside the incomplete domain, I think is what they called it. When he went one-on-one against the special grade, and he basically said, hey, you and I are the same, but how are we the same when I'm just completely dominating you? And he's having a blast doing it. I love this moment. I love this. Really helps Sukuna seems more than just like a creepy demon who lives inside you and wants to kill everyone.
And this, like, it goes to show, like, just how powerful Sukuna is, and then how powerful Gojo is, because, like, just the levels, because, like, you think, like, oh, special grade, like, it's just like sports, like, oh, you made it to the NBA. It's like, okay, there's bench warmers in the NBA, there's role players, and then there's, like, LeBron and Steph Curry and, like, people like that, and and this is after the special grade just tore apart Itadori, like, no problem.
Yeah, and then literally froze him by how strong he was.
Yeah.
But the way he's having a complete blast, like, his laugh is so creepy and epic.
So evil. It's so evil.
I love it. And then obviously the scene finishes up with Malevolent Shrine. Trying to say that is just epic to me. I love it because this is the first time you see a complete domain, domain expansion. And when he does a little hand signal and he pulls it out, I was like, bro, it's done. Yeah, this right here. I was like, bro.
Like, domain expansion in itself is just like
the coolest idea.
So cool. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that entire scene to me is just epic.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, I love it. And then especially, like, right following that scene, like when he realizes that Itadori isn't strong enough to, like, take over his body, and, like, he has that reaction to it. Oh man. But that's the thing, is that, like, it's just, you have so many different levels of the grades, and then, like, once you reach special grade, just like seeing that scene, it's like, oh, okay, so, like, he's, the Jogo is still powerful than him, but then Gojo, like, just tears apart Jogo. It's like all these different levels, and it's like, God, how powerful. like we've only seen like the tip of the iceberg of how powerful Gojo Satoru is, and I can't wait to see like if how big he's gonna get in like the following seasons. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, I love that scene, and it made me like Sukuna, which is the one thing that I think they wanted to get out of you is that yes, he's evil, but he can also take down other evil people.
Yes,
which I think is a really cool idea. What's your number 4, man?
My number 4 it was a small moment, and we just talked about his friend dying. God, I gotta look up Nanami. It's not Nanami. It's not Nanami.
Is it
Junpei? That's what it is. Yeah, I was like, I know it's something, but it was right after Junpei gets transfigured by Mahito, and it's with and he's like Sakuno, like, help me, like, turn him back, and he's like, no, like, and it shows you how evil Sakuno is, because like he's literally saying you can do whatever you want. I will, like, no deals. What are they called? Pacts or compromise? Or it's like no pact, nothing. I will let you do whatever you want if you save Junpei right now. And he's still like, no, I'd rather like your soul die. Like, I'd rather you suffer through this than even me get free reign for a little bit. And Mahito's even like, oh, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe like this or that. And then it's one of like the scariest moments where it's not in this clip, but when he's like, it's right after he's like, I'll kill you. Like, in just the animation of like how black and white it is, like it totally goes like back to the manga. And he's like, everything I've ever said, what came from me made everything I've ever said feel like a lie. And he was like, I will kill you. Like, he doesn't say exercise, he says kill. And for me, it's the first punch against Mahito. And if you want to bring it up, it's just, it's with them laughing. And he's like, it's that like. I just love that. This, yes.
Yeah.
That's the problem with YouTube clips. They kind of cut it up a little bit to get to the action. But it's just like, I love that moment where he's like, the next thing I said made everything in my life before that feel like I told a lie. And he says, I will kill you. And that animation and just that first punch, especially because like before that moment, we just saw Nanami, like he fought well against him, but couldn't damage him. And like, had to like destroy the whole place just to get away. It's like, man, this guy is powerful. And then just that first punch just like makes his nose bleed. And you're like, oh my gosh, the power that Itadori has. Like, I'm like, this is, and just that punch, like you as the audience were in that fist with that punch, because Junpei was just this little innocent little kid that was just ready to be influenced because he had such a tough life. He had a great mom, but just like being bullied nonstop for no reason at school, and was just looking for that father figure, and just like went to the wrong place because he's so susceptible. And then just everything into that first punch. And like, I love the first part of the fight, before Nanami shows up. But for me, it's just that first punch, and it's like, I will kill you. Like, I love it.
Yeah, that's an epic moment for sure. And it's definitely another character building moment for Yuji. All right, man, let's move on to my number 3. Man, we're moving quick. My number 3 is one of my favorite characters coming into fold. And that is my boy, Todo. And that is when Todo and Yuji team up to take down, I believe, her name is Hanami. And that is the tree curse that is very much a powerful curse that even Gojo mentions how powerful Hanami is. And I think this entire fight, I just put like the whole fight, not really
There's so many good moments.
Just the way, I think what really stood out for me as I bring it up, and then I don't know if you want to just push play and let it go and maybe cut the sound to not have any worries, but just the way that obviously they come into this scene after this moment between Maki and Megami, but the way that they are able to team up and just have like a bond, like straight up, like Vegeta and Goku, even though they've only known each other for 5 minutes, it's just
like a soldier in a foxhole, where it's just like, especially this moment, because I was like, because you saw the first part of the fight, you saw them show up, Hanami show up in the episode, and then it starts with these guys running away, and I was like, I wonder if Todo. Because you kind of think that Toto's like the person that would like ignore this and be like, no, Itadori, we have to fight. We're fighting now. I'm like, I wonder what Toto will do here. But yeah, you get the black flash, you get Toto's clapping and them teaming up together.
Them teaming up is the best part for me. But
them teaming up is so good. I'm gonna fast forward to the clapping because it's so good.
Yeah, this entire animation is incredible. And it shows off how Toto is having a blast
and she even says Hanami even says when he says I'm not going to help you until you get a black flash, and she's like, I have more cursed energy than him, but there's something about Toto. I don't know what it is, like his brazenness, because he's just like sitting there like, we're just going to fight one-on-one. You're going to do what I say. I know you're a curse that wants to kill us, but we're going to do it. We're going to play it my way. But just everything about, and he does the 4 black flashes in a row. You have Nanami saying like that he holds the record for that.
Yeah, I love it.
Everything about it. And then especially when he's got the fact that Toto's like loves this like random pop culture icon, and like when she shoots the saplings at him, and like in 0.00001 seconds he decides like, oh, I shouldn't block this with my cursed energy. She's like, well, do you think it sucked on his blood, or do you think it fed off his cursed energy? He's like, oh, thank you. And he even says like, I'll have to thank her next time I meet her at the next convention. It's like, he's such a big, he's good at fighting, but he's such a big dork when it comes to everything. Like, that's why I love it. All these guys are huge dorks, and it's so great.
Yeah, I think Toto instantly became one of my favorite characters in this entire arc, in this entire scene, obviously, as well. But yeah, this entire fight scene to me is just epic, and it shows off how powerful Toto is. And I love when Maki was like, oh no, this guy's a monster. He's a legit monster. And the fact that he's just like the most chill dude at the same time makes it even better. I also want to acknowledge Jess.
Hey, what's up, Jess?
Talking about the clapping and the fake out.
The fake out's so good, and then, when he can like switch between like a cursed person and a cursed object, when he gets the I don't know what they're called, but the bow staff or whatever.
Oh, that thing is so cool. Yeah,
I think it's like extra cursed
Playful
energy.
Cloud, I think is what it's called. But yeah.
And it's just like I wish we got more time with that, because Toto with that weapon would have just been like unstoppable. But then we got Deep Purple, and Deep Purple was almost on my list. I don't know if it's on yours, but Deep Purple was almost on my list. It was close. The music of this show is just so good. So I have Itadori's first punch. So I'm at my number 2, since we both. You know what? I'll do Deep Purple then, since we had the same moment on one of them. I'll do Deep Purple.
Absolutely. Why not? Yeah. I also want to give a shout out. I mentioned her before, but I have to do it again just because I love her so much, and she's only in it for like 5 minutes. But Maki is.
Maki's bae. Maki is bae.
My favorite.
She's so good. She is just like such a badass. When she that was up there when she catches the bullet. That was up there when she just takes that girl's sword. It was just
the way they animate her fighting seems like she's like the most technical fighter in the next to Toto. Like her and Toto are the best.
And the fact that she she can't even see curses, but she's just that strong of a fighter. Like she has to wear those glasses to see curses. And it's just like, it's so good. I love Maki so much, and I can't wait to see what she does.
Let's pull this up as well. Also, a comment from Felipe Nunez says, a good thing about Jujutsu Kaisen is the way they use this anime trope of a main character having an inner demon, but twist it in a way that Sukuna is actually its own character and ambitions, with his own ambitions and a storyline. Yeah, I mean, Sukuna, the way they sold me on Sukuna was very interesting. Instead of making him kind of just like this ultimate big bad that you see at the very end, they kind of make him a reoccurring character that shows up from time to time. I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And he made that deal with Itadori, and he hasn't used it yet. So I'm wondering what he's waiting for when he made the agreement, like I won't kill or harm anybody when we switch. So I'm wondering what his plans are. I'm very, very curious. But yeah, we got to get into Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Because like it's just, and even Toto laughs at it. He's like, of course you did this, because now we can't figure out if Hanami got exercised or not.
Yeah, I love Toto's reaction to it. I think it's the best part. Almost like it's a mutual, like we're both.
He's
badass.
just like of course. The music too.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I love it.
Like, I'm wondering who can beat him.
No one. I think it's pretty clear. Like, you're gonna see in my list pretty soon coming up, but
yeah,
definitely
just like it's
one.
He's so ridiculous. But yeah, it's just like such a great moment because like this is a guy that literally went from the sky and teleported immediately to beat, you know, the axe guy, the coat rat guy. He could have done the same thing, but of course he's like, how do I want to do this? Okay, let me send a giant Hadouken ball across the entirety of the campus instead of, you know, going over there and handling this. But
I also like that he just looked at that guy and he just like destroyed his limbs.
Yeah,
he just looked at him.
And even the principal was like, "Don't kill him," like because we needed to question him. Like the principal knew that guy was no match. He was like, "Just don't kill him. We need to interrogate him." All right, so what's your number 2 moment?
Yeah, my number 2, man. I'm excited about my number 2 because it could almost be my number 1, but my number 1 had to be the most obvious moment in my opinion, which to me is like it should be number 1. But this is my number 2, and it's my boy, probably my favorite character, Nanami. When Nanami and Itadori team up on Mahito, and you get the entire. Essentially, you get a little bit of Mahito's power.
Meme. Yeah.
The meme is epic. I think that's an epic one too. We didn't even talk about besto friend, my besto friendo, with Toto. But to me, this entire fight scene and the way it just kind of explains Nanami's background is my favorite. Because to me,
about the girl in the bakery, so good.
Because I think this is that's what made Nanami the best character to me. Because I was like. Out of all the characters, Nanami seems to be the one who's the most centered, and he knows what he has to do, which is why he was so good with dying in that moment. Yeah,
he's lived both lives, and like he's like saved people.
Yeah,
and I love this moment with Sakuno, like just like I don't care who you are, like you're done.
Yeah,
like,
and he just raises out of my finger like that. It's just blood just.
But yeah, just everywhere. Like Nanami's backstory with the bakery and, you know, on Wall Street or whatever it is, it was so good. And then just like, but yeah, just the ass beating. Like, I gotta show the ass beating. Yeah, it's pretty early on. Especially this, you're like, yo, fuck yeah.
I love it. This is epic animation. Oh my god.
Bro, like you know they're not gonna beat him, but like it doesn't make it any less cathartic to see Mahito get the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, Nanami's the shit, bro. He's my favorite. I'm not even gonna lie.
He's
Felipe
so
Nunez
good.
is also in the chat saying Nanami's his favorite character. He's my favorite character. I was gonna save it for like another video, but yeah, Nanami's my favorite. I might even do a Nanami video because I think his backstory, as short as it is, makes it one of the most like compelling anime like. Interesting conversations. The way he talked about like the financial economic nature of the world and how good and evil works inside of that. I thought that was just I was like, bro, you nailed it. You just nailed it. Everything I was thinking.
So good.
Yeah.
I love that. My number 2, we're going back to Nabara. And for her, like she's just like for me, this was better than the Black Flash moment. Is that like she gets the poison from the Blood Brothers in her, and she's just like, "Oh, that's how it works. Oh, I'm a bad matchup for you." And she doesn't flinch. Like she doesn't even hesitate to do what she does. Like I think she's more of a fighter than almost anyone besides maybe Toto. Maybe like I think she's honestly more like cold-blooded than like I think it's between maybe her and Maki. Maki I think is a better fighter, but just like when it comes to being a sorcerer, I don't know if there's anyone better. And like especially with like her being a first year, like I think she's probably better than Toto was as a first year. Like, you know, Toto's a third year now, so like he's top of the food chain. But just like with how good Nobata is, it's just like she like, especially in real world situations where it's like she's faced death quite a few times, like outside of, you know, the school event and stuff like that. And just in this moment, if you want to bring it up, just like he's like, you have 10 minutes to live. 15 minutes Itadori because you're a little bit stronger physically, and just he doesn't even blink. And it's just like that is the scariest anyone's ever looked at an anime. Like, she is terrifying. the tattoos, the blood on the wrist, the look in her eyes, like like I can't get over like how good of animation this is. Like the fact that she's literally doing her own technique on them, and then she does it like I think she does it 3 times.
She does, yeah.
And like doesn't hesitate to like help in the fight. Doesn't care if she's gonna die or not. Knows that, you know, like Itadori's like more resistant to the poison because of Sukuna, and that's when the black flash happens. But just like for me, like that's why I was kind of breaking down the 2 moments, because like just starting that game of chicken to like she knows like that she might not make it out of the situation, but just like her like just getting like, because like, you know, she gets like blood spat on her, and like he just explained what's gonna happen, and like so she's slowly gonna melt away. She's like, oh, okay, boom, first one, and just doesn't even like blink or hesitate. The most badass moment for me was that.
Yeah, I love her too, and again, she definitely shined in those final 2 episodes for sure when it comes to her character development. Again, we saw a little bit of her in the Sister School Festival and in the first 2 episodes. But when it comes to that episode, I feel like that is kind of what made her shine more than anyone else throughout the season, because it made her like an instant legend, right? Like she had a game 6 game winning shot and everyone was like, yo, bro, she's legit. She's Dame. She's like Dame Lillard.
Like this was like Udonis Haslam coming in for 3 minutes and like fighting Dwight Howard. Like right, like
for that.
Like it's just like
I was thinking of like Dame, like game 6, game 7, like shooting like the 50-foot 3-pointer, waving to Paul George.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Nobata is a beast, bro. I love her. Absolutely.
She's so great.
We got to our number 1, man. Do we have the same number 1 or no? Or is it just
we do not.
Okay.
It's just your number 1.
So my number 1 is obviously, we're talking about goats here. The goat, Gojo. His first eye reveal where he releases Infinite Domain. I've seen some guys actually say it in Japanese on TikTok where they memorized it. I can't say it in Japanese. I wish I could.
I haven't listened to it enough, but I could try and butcher it terribly.
Yeah. But his Infinite Domain is the most OP thing I think I've ever seen.
It's insane.
It's ever seen an anime. Insane. It's insane, and the way he just pulls it out, I have it pulled up here, so I'm gonna pull it up. And the way he just opens it up and just like launches this dude, I think his name is Jogo.
It's Jogo, yeah.
Into this, I think he calls it Inner World of Limitless, is the most epic, ridiculous OP thing. It kind of describes his power level when you see this happen right here.
Yeah. The fact, because like Jogo's pretty powerful, and we see his power on display, and you know, Gojo's like kind of toying with him, but then like just to reveal his ultimate technique, where it's just like you can't, because like what he says, like when granted everything, you can't do anything, like you cannot move, because like, you know, we see in his infinite domain and Jogo's infinite domain, people can move. In Mahito's infinite domain, Nanami could move. This is like such a powerful domain that you can't even think. You can't even think to fight back against it. So like, it's more of a one, like this, like what he was saying was like, it's guaranteed to hit. Yeah. There's no more guaranteed to hit than someone you can't escape from. And but yeah, that moment is just him with the eye reveal, with everything. Oh my god,
his
so
eyes
good.
are like galaxies and crap. Straight up Kelly Oubre eyes.
Really, it was like it's
no
so,
one who gets that reference.
it's wild, dude. Like,
yeah, it's like the most prettiest eyes ever.
yeah,
I was gonna tweet one time. I was like, bro, how can I keep up with Gojo, bro? I can't. I don't have eyes that look like galaxies. I have the color
like
of poo eyes, bro.
I can do my hair whatever you want. You can try and cosplay, but you're never gonna find even fake lenses like those. Like you're not going to. It's like one anime cosplay you can never fully do because one, you can't walk around a con blindfolded and know exactly where you're going.
No.
And two, you can't reveal eyes like that because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not happening. Maybe Itadori. I think that's all I could pull off. Maybe Megumi. Watch me walk around like Gojo after active boy summer.
Oh god, yeah.
Buff man summer. Yeah, that's my number one, man. It has to be because I think Gojo.
It has to be. It's not a bad choice at all. It's just so good, especially like just everything leading from the fight leading up to that. Like that's like the best crescendo of a fight you can get is like the villain doing his, anime OP move, and then the guy being like, "Oh no, this is how you really do it," and then just literally blowing it away into another dimension of time and space. It's like, holy shit!
Like teleport him to like infinite timelines and infinite space. It's just ridiculous. I love it.
Because that's the thing. Like we got such like a ascending order. We saw Sukuno's, which isn't probably as powerful as it usually is, where it's just like we got a little bit of it, but it was mainly like, oh, he just like sliced him in 5 with no problem. And then we got Jogo's, which is like this volcano, like inside of a volcano. He wasn't even hitting him, but like, the environment could, like, it stung Itadori a little bit. It was really hot. And he was like, oh man, usually if I put a sorcerer in here, he just melt from how hot it is. He'd turn to ash. And then you saw Gojo's where it was like, no. This is a real infinite domain. Like it's literally infinite. And it's just like, oh my God. So
I love it. I almost feel like that could be, I think I tweeted this one time. Like, what would your infinite domain look like? What would your domain expansion look like?
I don't know. I don't know what it would look like, honestly.
Mahito's is like crazy, the crazy hand thing. Like,
yeah.
I was like, that's kind of cool too. I can't lie. Yeah, I don't know what mine would look like either. It would definitely have a theme to it too, but I don't know what theme would it be.
Right, it's tough to think about, but yeah, I kind of want to. That would
spices
be a good one.
everywhere. Mexican theme fiesta things. Sombreros.
It's just I like that bridge in Coco. Like the animation in Coco is so gorgeous, like all the leaves and stuff like that. That was that would be my
domain expansion. That's mine for sure. Good deal, man. What's your number one?
My number one is probably the scene I've watched the most, and it's the beginning of, I think it's like episode 16, where we start with the Itadori and Toto fight, where like he's already said like, oh, you're my best friend because you like Jennifer Lawrence's butt. And they're fighting, and then he goes to punch him, and this is where Toto's true character is revealed, where he's just been waiting for someone to really match who he is and who he wants to become as a stronger sorcerer, and whether that's your type of woman or who you want to become as a sorcerer. And it's the advice he gives Itadori, and just like, I think the YouTube clip is like a little chopped up and we don't have to watch all of it.
I love this. I just saw this last night and I love it. I love it. Yeah, let's bring it up.
I've literally watched this scene probably more than any fight scene, more than Infinite Void, anything like that. I've watched this scene the most, and it's just like with like the music and the bird flying and like listening to nature and truly
nature.
Yeah, just getting in touch like with your inner cursed energy and your inner self. And then just like him saying, and then no more words need to be spoken. Like you are my best friend. Like let's fight.
I won't hold back. Yeah,
I won't hold back. And it's just like, oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
And you see that connection while they're fighting Hanami. You see that connection because they built that rapport in that moment. And he's just like, when he just says thank you, he just does this, and like the cursed energy comes out of his hands. It's like, yes.
Oh, dude, it's so good. I love this one.
Yeah, it's just like you've only because like it's a really edited clip. Like I don't know why YouTube doesn't want to take your time, but it's just like do we think with our guts? And then like it's just like the all the nature, everything like that. Just the music, the score right there really works.
That shot of him like floating above it.
Yeah,
it's so good.
And that right there, just like, I know it's like a small thing, but like the cursed energy around all of him, we hadn't seen that. It only been in his divergent fists. And just like just him just going full, like, you know, what's the Saiyan, Super Saiyan, like him going like Super Saiyan in that moment, like truly getting in touch with all of his cursed energy, not just in his superhuman abilities. Because like Toto's saying to himself, like, oh, he's like smaller than me, but he has more power than me. Like he has so much potential.
I love this. It's epic, dude.
It's so good. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And so like that's probably my most watched scene of this whole anime, and especially because it starts off an episode like that. So like that's before and I honestly, one of my top 5 moments, like probably number 6 was the opening song of Arc 2. Like that song just bangs so hard. It rips so hard. But yeah, just I've watched that scene so many times. And I almost brought it up on Crunchyroll because I was like, do I want to play the full 8 minutes? Because I kind of want to play the full 8-minute scene, but it's just so good.
It's great, man. And it really does describe how Toto is a lot deeper than just a shallow, you know, dude who likes chicks and, you know, the classic jock character that he is. And that he's just a deeper, more connected, more in tune, like genius level, spiritual level, like martial arts level. Like this guy's a guru inside the body of like a football player.
Well, it's like everyone's looking at like the finished product of Toto and don't see like how he got there. And like Itadori's probably the only one outside of, you know, that woman that picked him up as a child. I don't know. We don't need to discuss that. But it's just like outside of her, like he's seen like the real side of him. Like, you know, everyone else sees like, you know, the monster that only wants to fight and says, you know, if you tell me what to do, I'll kill you. Which is fair. Like that's who he presents himself. But then even
I love that scene too. I love it when he tells the old guy, he's like, "Shut up, old man."
Yeah,
I was like, dude.
And I love the scene where he's like, "Do we want to continue the school event?" He's like, "Yes." Like only the people that know, the people that died have the right to mourn. Like, you know, he gives like all these reasons, and everyone's like, "I hate you," but those are really good reasons. God, I guess we'll play baseball now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Toto's like top 3 for me. I love.
He's so good, and it's that moment to where like he literally takes a punch in the face. Leans up and goes, no, this is what you're doing. Like, this is where you get your cursed energy from. Like, listen, get in touch with the world, because it's not just anger and, you know, fear that creates cursed energy. It's everything around us. And the score really sells that moment for me. And I love it so much.
That score is incredible, man. It really does kind of show you that as funny and as goofy as Toto is, he can be a lot deeper than that. And that's why I think that episode seals him as like one of the best characters in the show, at least for me.
It does.
I'll put Nanami up there too. But Toto's up there for me, man. He's definitely top 3.
It's just like they've done such a good job. And, you know, we can talk about My Hero a little bit, where like I'm liking this season so far, but I'm like, I don't know if I need 2 episodes per group battle right now. I'm just like, there are some students that I'm more interested than others.
Sure.
But just like with this small group of classmates, like Maki's backstory, like I want to get to know the guy with the cursed speech. I want to get to like, you know, we got a little bit of Panda. We got a little bit of Panda's backstory. Great. Panda's like so many people. And, you know, I want to get to know like the other class, like the Kyoto class. I want to get to know them. And it's such a small group of people that I'm really enjoying it so far. And it's so natural with how they're introducing their backstories. It doesn't seem like, oh, this is a flashback episode. Like, no, like we weave so well into the action and into the narrative of the story.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I obviously I've been watching My Hero this season too. And it's been good. Don't get me wrong. But I definitely have been like, all right, you know, we can get going, fam. Even though I did like last episode quite a bit. I
did too, but it's just
my favorite characters.
Who is
Ida? So that's full disclosure.
Yeah.
That's probably why I liked it. I also like Todoroki too, but Ida is like my boy.
I'm ready for next episode because I'm a Bakugo guy, so I'm ready for Kacchan.
Yeah, he's great.
I'm ready.
He's definitely great.
And just like the tease that we're gonna get a new fighting style from him, like I love the way him and Midoriya like push each other. It's great. Now that they have like an actual healthy rivalry, not like a school bully one, I like it.
Yeah, I was watching the last episode. It kind of reminded me a little bit, not too much, but of like John and Aaron. When John would be like, Aaron, like shape up. We need you because you have this special power. We don't. When you remember when John used to say that back in like season 2 and 1, it kind of reminded me of that when Bakugo was like, "Hey, you have this power, bro. Like keep up. Like I'm getting stronger than you, and you have freaking All Might's power." Yeah, I think that's kind of what it reminds me of for sure. But yeah, either way, this was a lot of fun, man. I had a blast. Anyone who joined us in the chat, thank you so much. I definitely want to do more of these. We'll probably be back next week, man. If you're down,
I'm down.
Maybe a My Hero thing.
Yeah, I just got a new bar job, so I'm figuring out, what my schedule is there. NW Warrior in the chat. Whenever Ace catches up on Demon Slayer, I'm ready to talk Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah,
Ace needs to catch up on Demon Slayer.
I'll promise you this. By next week, I'll be. No, I won't promise that.
It's a lot to go in a week, but so I'll give you
like. Though. I can do it. I'm starting to. I'm like finishing what I didn't finish.
I'll give you to the end of the month. We'll do My Hero next week and then Demon Slayer week after. So I'll give you 2 weeks to finish the season and the movie. You got to go see the movie in theaters while it's there, man. It's so good.
I bet, and it's really there's a good reason NW Warrior why I haven't caught up. So don't think it's just me leaving this. I had to leave it for a good reason. There's only so many hours in today, so I have to pick what I do and what I watch. And basketball is going to be number 1 on that list.
You guys are looking good. I think we play you tonight, but I think I don't know if it matters.
We played. Okay. Yeah, this morning we played you. It was our backups.
Another beatdown.
No, it was a close game, man. But we didn't have our big 3. We didn't have.
You guys already locked up the number 1 seed. So
Peyton. Yeah, we just played our backups, which is kind of fine. Our second unit. Yeah, it was still a 1-point game though. You guys still gave it a good effort. So there you go, man. Either way, guys, Ben, where can everyone find you?
Everywhere at the Ben Goddard, guys. I'm still streaming on Twitch, doing all that good stuff. I've got a big event that I'm going to start planning pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. Got a lot in the works, guys, so make sure you're there for that, and I'm really excited for it.
And you can find me at Squad Leader Ace. You can also follow us here at First Cut for more anime Sundays, I guess is what it's going to be now. Anime Sundays, because Sundays are kind of a cool day to talk about anime anyway, because it's the day after My Hero airs. So join us here for more Anime Sundays and more videos, reviews, and anything else you want to find over here at First Cut. So subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. Either way, guys, for the First Cut crew, we are peacing out. Peace out, guys.
Peace.